Hey guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is Season 4, Episode 4. I'm the host, Kingsman42. With me today, I have Dudley Do-Right.
Hello, and shalom. I'm back.
Nice to see you live again.
No, you're not.
Alright, also with us, coming back for a second time in a row, we have Air Raiders.
I'm here. I'm not exactly sure why.
I mean, it isn't Doghouse, so I don't know why you're here either.
I wandered into the wrong call.
And last but not least, we have AHL Bog Extraordinaire, Zero Crash.
I am not Risto.
Risto was supposed to be here, but it appears he's not here. So we're going to kickstart it this week. We're going to do AIDS with Risto. I was supposed to send it to Risto, but he's clearly not here. So I guess that would be the AIDS with Risto for this week.
That's a good segue. Good start.
Maybe next time you should show up.
He had something prepared, too. He was like, I got something. I swear to God, I got something. And he's not here.
Moving on.
Moving on, we have my segment, From the Point. So featuring top D-men around the AHL or bottom D-men around the AHL. Just a shout out on how you did this week. So for our top defenseman getting the most points this week, we had a tie between Dudits Devin from Cleveland and Kebrick from Manitoba. Defenseman had 7 points. I believe... I was going to say, I believe Zero Crash has a nickname for Kebrick.
We like to call him Captain Croissant, but he is the honorary captain of the Manitoba Moose, and without him, we probably wouldn't have as many wins as we do.
So 9? 12?
We would probably have a little bit less without him backstopping our top line and carrying our D flag.
Featuring our top sniper of the week, we have Tatawaka from Providence. He had 3 goals this week. We have a 2-way tie for the defenseman with the most assists. It was Kebrick, Captain Croissant, and from Manitoba, and Karuch from Texas. I don't know how Karuch got 6 assists, but...
he must have traded for a different D partner this week.
Alright, so our 2 defensemen with the plus-minus come from Manitoba's top line, Kebrick and RD Flag. Only because of the fact that they beat Laval 14-1. Hashtag ECMU there, Mr. Pain Train. Plus 16 on the week.
Jesus.
Goodness gracious.
Our worst plus-minus on the week comes to 3 defensemen. 2 of them are a D-pair from Colorado, Tonsman 42 and Drunk Lone Wolf. And then Lateralis from Belleville are all minus 11 this week, which is worse than what I had last week. So shout out to you guys for being worse than I was last week.
How, if I may ask, how has not one Laval from that game get on the top plus minus?
Because Laval also, that defensive pair won 5-0 against Colorado.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? How does it feel that those guys did worse than you and you're still in the AHL?
I mean, they're on Colorado. Colorado's a fire sale team right now. You never know.
Hey, we're not in last place anymore. Yeah!
Coming up back to our defenseman with the most hits, it's 2-time reigning champ Costa. He's got now 3 weeks as #1 hitter and second place last week. He had 28 hits this week. He's going for the hit record of the AHL in 1 season, I believe. Most takeaways was a 6-way tie with 18 takeaways this week. Leave Dudley, before I continue, you want to say something?
Yeah, you mentioned Costa. I have something interesting to say about that because I was yelling at this in the party the whole time when we played. We played hard for this week. And Costa plays right D. He was defensive defenseman. And someone in the party said, oh, I think it was Lucas, my AGM. He goes, well, you better be careful because I think he's probably going to try and hit the crap out of you. So I'm like, please. First time I get the puck, boom! He slams me to the freaking boards. He hurt me. Yeah, I think if you check the stats, I think probably I was like the brunt of like 9 of his hits.
It's weird because the same thing happened when we played them. It's like these guys gonna just go for hits the whole time, and even when you know it's coming, he still gets you.
He still gets you. I'm like,
he's the best hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in a game.
He's a good guy. I like him.
Hey,
Costa, please, help me out here and try not to kill me next time. Okay, I have a family to feed.
All right, so yeah, back to most takeaways. We had a 6-way tie with 18 takeaways this week. Some of those featured names out of the 6. Ristolainen himself, Hammy X27, Caddy X75. Those were 3 of the 6. And then our defenseman with the most giveaways this week with 35 giveaways is also Ristolainen. So yeah, the most takeaways and the most giveaways, Risto. AIDS, that's for sure. And that will end it for From the Point this week with Kingsman 42. So Zero.
What's up?
You're back again.
Ugh, I don't know why.
So how's your season going so far on Manitoba Moose?
It started off well, and it's gone a little bit downhill recently. I just can't seem to keep the goal count is down. I've only given up 1 4-goal game this season. The rest have been 3-2, 1s, and shutouts. I just can't seem to get these wins going. I had my worst week this week. I went 2-3.
Didn't you win a game 14-1?
Yeah, but when you have your forwards are scoring 14 goals a game, you really don't, and then you have good defense. It doesn't matter. I need to be better back there for the team.
All right. So I've heard a little rumor that the real leader, the person who actually runs Manitoba, is fourth line. He does all your lines. He does all your trades. Is that true?
No, I don't think that's true at all. Lorenzo is there nightly, getting the team together, getting the party together, and Breezy is right there doing the lines as well. Fourth being the owner, of course, he's going to help, but Breezy and Lorenzo they both put their work in.
All right. And as I said earlier, you are a Bog. How's this season going compared to last season in your Bog duties?
So far this season, it's a little bit easier because I'm more used to it, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, give me 1 second, guys. I just got to move. Okay. But if you guys can go to your next segment, I gotta move out of where I am here. Sorry, guys.
All right. Okay, so next segment we're gonna send it over to Dudley. He's got a special top 10 this week.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you. Hold your applause, please.
Thank God I don't have to call you this week.
Yeah. Huh. Some phone call that was.
Waking you up from your nap at work?
Yes, because apparently that's all I do here. Okay, so this one is going to be a little more close to home for me, at least. It's all in good fun. I know for a fact that my owner's going to hear this because although he says he doesn't care, he's more than likely probably going to tell me about it. He's going to say, "Why'd you have to say that?" I don't care, but why'd you have to say that? Not a personal attack. It's a joke. It is top 10 trades Bakersfield may make this season. Top 10 trades Bakersfield may make this season. Here we go. Number 10, trade our skates for rubber tires. Number 9, trade our jerseys for V-neck T-shirts. Number 8, trade Austin to Edmonton so he can retire on top. Number 7, trade the lease of the arena for another lease for a rec rink. Number 6, trade future considerations for players for food vouchers. Number 5.
Snoopy, right?
What's that?
For Snoopy, food vouchers for Snoopy?
Exactly.
Okay.
Number 5, this joke has been called up to the NHL. Number 4, trade our hockey sticks for curling brooms. Number 3, trade our socks for coffee filters. Number 2, trade Kingsman 42 for a pack of Skittles.
Yeah.
And the number 1 trade Bakersfield may make this season, Dudley and AO gets traded, fired, Snoopy takes over, the world blows up. That is the stupidest thing I have ever written, and I'm probably going to get fired. So if you see me in the CHL, you'll know why.
Hey, you could join me on my team.
No.
Hey, we're a winning team at least.
That's true. Still no.
No. Are you talking over there, Zero? Because your mouth's moving.
No, I'm not. Speaking of trades, by the way, let's talk about this one team that's done probably the most trades that I think I've ever seen in an AHL season.
Texas?
Oh my God! How many trades does one team have to do?
So as of Monday, they were at 46.
That is incredible.
What?
Yeah. They were at 40 as of Thursday. They were at 46 as of Monday.
I think we talked about that last week, and it's just like I don't know what they're expecting of people. Like, carry our team for a week and you get to stay. Shit, you didn't do it. Bye.
Is there anyone that was on the team originally?
Karuch?
Anybody that's not management?
Speaking of Karuch and Bolts, anybody who's in the management chat knows what a relationship that looks like.
Oh, jeez, I know.
Karuch is like, don't talk to my AGMs, and then it's like, well, Bolt stays in my DMs. Like, I'm just gonna ignore him now, I guess, because you don't want him doing anything. Yet he keeps trying to do things.
Well, Karuch did something right. He got a defenseman that could carry him to get him 6 assists this week.
Yeah, but he's probably gone already.
Probably. You never know with this team, right?
There's a trade in the works, guaranteed.
To improve or to...
I mean, have they improved? 46 trades, and have they actually gotten any better?
Well, Dudley said they're no longer last, so I'm assuming Texas is last.
No, I think it's Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado's last. Texas is right above us in the never-ending pool of mediocrity.
I think you need a little bit of zero crash on your team to help your team improve.
Don't test me.
Just keep going, Texas. The 50th trade's the one that helps.
Actually, you still are on the bottom, Bakersfield.
Not in the entire league, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, we know where we're at. Trust me. You don't have to tell us. We know.
Texas is actually 15-19 with 32 points. They're the 12th best team in the AHL. I mean, in the Western.
So, Dudley, I'd like to ask you. You're 4 weeks in, and your team has 5 less wins than it did already last season. Your team finished with 17 last season. You guys are up to 12 already. You on pace for like 23, 24 wins this year?
Hey, anything better than what happened last season. But no, we've had a lot of roster turnover over the last couple of weeks, so it's been really hard for us to kind of get a consistent thing going. And I'm not going to sit here and point fingers. But you know, we're just trying to do our best to put a team on the ice that actually has chemistry, and I think we're kind of getting to that point now, in a sense. You know, we're trying to get people who have personality, and we're trying to get people who want to play. So we had a couple of people that didn't really want to show up, and they would whine and complain about playing time, even though we gave them all the playing time. I don't want to say names, but you know, we're trying. And it's not like we throw in the towel, and we play a lot of good games, you know? Like, I'll give you an example. UT was talking about in the chat this game that we played against them, and I threw my Tabernacle line out against them, you know? And UT just completely dominated the crease. Laval was getting worked by my guys. So a lot of those games we're having this season is just EA's killing us. We'll have the occasional bad game, and we just have nothing going our way. It's not like Tucson, where it was just bad. We actually have a halfway decent team. It's just that legit nothing is going our way, and this week was an improvement, and we're trying to build off that.
Is the difference this season compared to last season, your NHL ownership being better than it was last season?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, even though we can sit here and complain about Snoopy, but the one thing that Snoopy has done is at least given us some sort of sustainability. In Tucson, we didn't really have that, or at least in Arizona, rather, because I ended up having, like, you could ask Notorious himself, we had to run half the NHL team for about a week and a half. I actually got approached by Brody to see if he wanted me to run the team, and I said, sorry, I have too much to do. I have a bad team enough as is. I don't want to have to carry another bad team, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, as much as we can rail on Snoopy and the reputation he has, the guy actually is, you know, in terms of being active, he's a decent owner. You know, it's just that we have a lot of roster shuffle, and that's probably my only complaint. So once we are able to finally get something that's solidified, we might try and turn some heads. Hopefully, I can't guarantee anything, but we're trying.
All right. So I have a couple more topics before we end the night. First topic is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject for those who don't like to lose, but they like to rage quit. So first topic is about guys quitting and then buying out their bands and going back on teams that they were playing on, and then some guys just rage quitting because they suck and lose to teams that are really bad or really good. So first one I would like to talk about is Maul Chesky quitting before the week started because of something that happened in San Jose, and then buying out his band, and now he's back on San Jose. Zero, you're a Bog. What are your thoughts on this process here?
Well, it's the process. If he bought out his band, he goes back to the team he was on and goes to his TC. So why he quit, who knows? But he decided he wanted to come back, and he's back on the San Jose Barracudas. People are free to do what they want, but the reason I just don't understand why he did it.
Yeah.
Well, there was talks that he was trying to prove a point. I have an issue with this on a couple different levels. And one is, like, I feel like this is kind of the problem with LG. Like, yeah, Maul Chesky goes back to the TC, but you know San Jose is going to do whatever it takes to get him back onto the roster, and it'll be like it never even happened. Even though he tried to... Yeah, they already did?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I think they already made the trade that's been processed to make room for him to come back.
Well, there you go. And then it's like, well, that's why players act like that and do things like this. The other thing is they just changed the retirement rule. And, like, if you retire in the offseason to where if you don't come back before the draft, you have to sit out the entire season.
Yeah.
Yet, if you quit and get banned, buy out, you can come back within the week. And, I don't see how that's fair to the person who retired the right way.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of lopsided that way, and like I said, it's just it adds to the toxicity that's already decently high here in LG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had last season. I banned the guy last season for purposely not wanting to play, and found out probably a couple of days later he bought out his ban, and I'm thinking, how? Like, he was in my TC. I'm thinking, why? He purposely said he wasn't going to play for us. He ignored all of our messages, and then, all of a sudden he's back on my TC after I had to get him removed off my roster. What's the point? What's the point of going through the process if I know that they're not going to get removed? If you commit to playing in this league and you quit, you should either just stay stuck in the CHL or just sit out the rest of the season.
Be like a manager and have to sit it out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just say, theoretically speaking, and it sucks because things happen to people. Okay, that's sometimes things happen to people. So, like, let's say a manager has to quit because he had a family issue or something happened where he kind of needed the time instead of sitting on the Xbox. The manager will get a harsher penalty, a 3-season. I think it's like a 3-season, like a no management ban, and you get like banned for a season or whatever it is.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're a player. You can say, oh, well, screw it, I quit, and then just buy it out, and then you come back. So it's like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, I don't get it. It's not fair. It's not.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the retirement thing. If you were on a 2-season contract and in the off season you wanted to do the right thing and not screw your team over, so you retire because you don't think you're going to be able to play, then maybe mid-season things change, you can play. You can't come back now. Mm-hmm. But, in Maul Chesky's case, it was all over the chat box. He was saying that it seemed like him and Bombay got into it, so he quit to prove a point that San Jose needed him. Like, that's the worst kind of quitting, really. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, San Jose doing whatever it took to bring him back, just like it just feeds into that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I've seen in leagues like this for the last couple of years. It's just players taking advantage of the system, taking advantage of the rules, taking advantage of loopholes, And it gets to the point where you say, why? You know, maybe we should sit and take a further look into something like this. You know, sure, you want to buy your band? Great, give the site money. Doesn't mean you're going to play. Just means you're eligible to play another season. Fine, that would be fine. You know, there should be some type of way where if you have to legitimately prove your point, I mean, I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but if you have a legitimate gripe, you should at least be able to prove it. You know what I mean? I know it's a gray area, but I feel like people should be given the chance to prove themselves if they actually have a legitimate issue.
So now moving on to the second half of the issue. Earlier this week, we saw the Colorado AGM Gilbsy and his best buddy Insalabilis, who's the roster goaltender, quit after losing in games 7-6 against the Marlies and then losing 7-0 against the Utica third line. I do remember Gilbsy saying that he was going to quit if he lost to Utica, and then they got spanked. And literally within 30 seconds of the game ending, it showed up on the website that saying Gilbsy has quit the LGHL. And then the same thing with his best buddy there in Salabilis. And they were supposed to play in the 10:30 game as well on that night. And Rextify, who's his line mate, showed for that game as well. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
You know, being a Boggs, so I'll answer this as professionally as I can. You're losing, and your team is terrible. Don't quit. It makes no sense. You signed up for the BE management. Unless you had some kind of reason, some kind of emergency that you have to go, like, you know, go to the hospital or something like that, and you can't fulfill your duties, of course. But if you quit because you're losing, it's just, I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense.
And like, for Gilbsy, he was on Hershey as a player, got traded to his cousin's team. Like, this guy is the GM of Colorado. So, like, he got traded to his cousin's team and takes AGM to help him out. So, like, who was the second AGM, I believe, and then quits. He still gets the management penalty of 3 seasons, and he can't play next season as well, or can't play the rest of this season, right?
2 seasons.
It's 2 seasons?
It's 2 seasons, and you can't buy out the first season, so he can buy out at the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, and anybody who, like, if anybody paid attention to the Colorado situation, when they made that trade to bring Gilbsy and Rextify, they kind of screwed their team.
Yep.
They, like, ignored all cap consequences and everything just to make it happen, and so Gilbsy kind of royally fucked over his own cousin in the process of all this too, which makes it even worse. But back to what Dudley said, he gets a way harsher penalty than Maul Chesky got. But rage quitting because you're losing is never good, especially as management. Like, buckle down, try and figure something out, make 45 more trades Texas style, and figure it out and try and win.
Be a Dudley and Notorious and stick it out.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It was hard. I'll tell you, it was hard dealing with that because, you want your team to win, and especially when nothing goes your way, I did think about it. It was stressful, I had a lot going on at that time. And, I just didn't want to be selfish to not only Notorious, but I didn't want to be selfish to against the guys on my team because obviously I made a commitment to do this. And I said, you know what? I'll stick it out. And, after a bad season, the best feeling is finishing that last game of the season when things just go absolutely wrong. And then you can just sit back, turn your Xbox off, and not have to come back on for the next 3 weeks. So, it just stick it out. That's it. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. If it is, that means you're ganky.
All right. Now on to my last subject. Last week we discussed Charlotte and how surprise success and how a lot of our thoughts we thought was the main reasoning was Jonas Peterson is carrying their ass. This was a discussed topic for a couple of minutes, and I got a PM this morning, one of their players, Points for Style, about the episode, what we were discussing, and he was saying how that we should revisit the topic, and because they went from dead last in the power rankings to become a top 5 team. And that we only summed up their success as because they play in a weak division. But then this week, they play the entire Western Pacific, arguably the best and hardest division. and they came out with 5 wins in 9 games, and that they shut out Stockton and San Jose, and that we attributed their success to Jonas Peterson. While he is a beast, and that he doesn't disagree that Jonas is the main reason why they're winning, is that that we're not noticing their team as a whole cohesive unit, and that they are the #1 team in time on attack difference in the AHL. Like, that makes a difference in the actual game. You can stand in the corner and accumulate time on attack. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, Charlotte obviously is playing well, but to come out and like try and fight for a cause because we have an opinion on how their team is doing.
Well, first off, if they think they're gonna run the one goalie all season, it's gonna bite them in the end.
Yeah.
There's no way that Jonas 1 is gonna be able to sustain that level of play that he's in. Not saying he's not a good goalie, just saying in such a long season, if you're playing 6-7 games depending on your schedule every week, you're obviously going to have weeks that are not there. Plus, the way they do it is with having to use one of your training camp goalies every single time. And trust me, I forget, I can't offhand. What is it? 9 games ECU can play. 8. So you're going to be using almost every single ECU goalie you have at that point.
But what they did this year was for ECUs now, once you get traded to a new team, your game limit for that gets reset. So you can ECU 8 times for your new team. So technically, if I understand it, as soon as you get traded to a new team, your game limit resets. So if Charlotte were to trade a TC goalie to, for example, Belleville, and then he played in Belleville 1 game and then got traded right back to Charlotte, I'm sure his 8 games get reset because he's on a new team again, and then you can play another 8 games. I don't know if that works like that. From my understanding, it works like that, though.
I guess it would be up to how much the Boggs Monitor. It sounds like it should work like that, but if the Boggs don't want it to, they could stop it. But first of all, shout out to Overdrive for doing their job. Anytime you get a PM outlining, trying to tell you why you're wrong, you've done amazing. Also, in that PM, he kind of confirmed what we were saying, like, oh, we played the Western Pacific and only had a mediocre week. Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about. Like, you came out 5-4 against the Western Pacific. Your success is because of your mediocre division.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. Thanks for proving us right. The rest of the points...
Yeah. Had they gone 9-0, it would have been different.
Yeah.
But I guess, as I was saying, he's like, yeah, we lead the team, the league in time on attack difference with like a plus 86 minutes. So I'm thinking, well, congratulations, you have plus 86. But look at Manitoba all the years past the 4th line. They literally could just cycle the puck in the corner nonstop and just accumulate time on attack and have 15 minutes a game and not score.
Yeah, it's time on attack. I hate that argument. When people try to tell you they dominated you, like, oh, we had double your time on attack. It's like, yeah, because we let you sit in the corner and spin in circles waiting to get the one-timer.
Yeah.
And then you never got it. So congrats on that. So it's, that's almost as useless as plus minus as a stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, time on attack is useless when you don't generate chances.
Yeah.
It's useless. If you're just sitting around, if you can be made up 2 faces, or Mackie as he likes to be called nowadays, and just spin around in a corner and have 10 minutes time on attack, but you can only score 1 goal. Meanwhile, the other team can have 3 minutes and score 5. It doesn't matter how you do your. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to make the chance is what it is. That's what matters.
To bring up Mackie, just for that point, Utica's 10th in the league in time on attack, but they're like 2nd or 3rd in the league scoring. So like they go down, they score. That's all that matters. They don't need to set up a play. They have a well-generated offense that if they need to cycle it, they do. But otherwise, they know what they're doing. They go down and they go score.
Game changers. I'm sorry.
I feel like those time on attack teams, though, it's like I said, they're just looking for that one backdoor one-timer, and they're just circling the boards, waiting for it. You see them, they go up and down, and they're trying to just wait for one guy to move so that their guy who's just standing in the top of the circle can get open. And it's useless. I mean, I'll let teams sit there the whole period if they want. You can have 20 minutes time on attack in the first period, and that's fine if you don't score.
Mm-hmm.
You're awfully quiet there. I know you're a goalie, Zero, but you're awfully quiet about this.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
So like you would do in an LG game where you just stay silent?
Wait, whoa, no. I don't see silent in LG games. Come on.
He's gathering intel, guys. Can't you see?
I'm a goalie. We all talk.
No, actually, a lot of goalies don't talk in game.
Unless they're yelling at somebody.
Yeah.
Which,
If we want to talk about people, goalies who yell, that could be a segment for next week.
Yeah. Give it
goalies who yell. Can we also associate yelling as barking, screaming, acting like a dumbass?
Mr. ECMU.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be a cool segment for next week.
But again, as I said earlier, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. ECMU himself, BS Pain Train, for getting pummeled by Zero Crash's team, 14-1. Nice 17 saves you had on 31 shots.
To be fair, he did take it like a champ.
Yeah, I actually watched the stream because someone sent it to me, and I thought it was going to be pure gold, and it wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. But I did notice that like he chugged a beer every time he got scored on, so we may need to send somebody out to check him for alcohol poisoning.
I know the perfect person. His name is Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Jeez. You want to talk about sending someone in a hole? Send Darcy to just make that person jump further into the hole.
Do you guys have any final shoutouts for this week?
Darcy, keep doing it.
All right, Dudley.
Oh gosh. Stay classy and leave us alone, please, and give us all your good players. Thank you.
All right, Raiders.
Karuch, tell Bolt to stop PMing me.
We got a shout out to Risto for committing and no showing.
Good job, Risto. You really.
Don't forget to submit your strike for the game.
Oh, also like to shout out Boggs Josh96 for no showing his game earlier this week.
Don't forget to strike him as well.
Uh-oh. Drama.
Already got the strike as the game happened. Anyways, thanks guys for listening to LG Overdrive. We'll catch you guys next week for episode 5.